Morning and welcome on this Monday morning. I hope that your week is off to a great start. I want to share a saying that I found that last week as I was working towards Sunday's message. Here we go. You can act your way into a new way of feeling easier than you can feel your way into a new way of acting. That was something that struck me. Listen to it one more time and think about what you hear in this phrase. You can act your way into a new way of feeling easier than you can feel your way into a new way of acting. I think this saying resonated with me this past week because one of the passages that I was exploring as we were leading up to Sunday is First John chapter 3, verses 18, 19, 20, and around 23 as well. And I want to read those real quick. You'll recall them. Joni actually used them in the call to worship Sunday. It says this: let us love not in word or speech, but in truth and action. And by this, we will know that we are from the truth and will reassure our hearts before him wherever our hearts condemn us. For God is greater than our hearts, and he knows everything. And this is his commandment, that we should believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another just as he commanded us. Now, how does all this fit together? Well, hear me out. Sunday, I invited you to think about survival mode, how we've been in survival mode for a year now because of everything that happened with COVID and our nation, our community, the world, the globe. We got into this place of how we're going to get by. And we stayed in that place of getting from 1 minute to the next to the next. That's what survival mode does to us. You do whatever it takes just to get through a difficult, a tough situation. It kind of puts us in this tunnel vision, if you will. And that tunnel vision isn't about doing what's most healthy for your life, whether it's physical or spiritual or emotional. Instead, it's this tunnel vision that's focused on doing whatever is needed, regardless of its impact on you or other people, whatever is needed to get from point A to point B. It's not a healthy place to be because survival mode does a couple things to us, as I shared with you yesterday. It thrusts us into this comparison mode. And when you're always comparing yourself to someone else, it causes you to feel like you're not ever enough, like you're inadequate. Survival mode also makes us very self-centered. We're always looking at ourselves and what I need and what I want and how I can control the situation in order to get from point A to point B. And we develop this self-centered attitude when we're in survival mode. And then thirdly, we just have, as I described it, this attitude. And you know what we mean when we say somebody's got an attitude, right? It's not a positive statement. It's an attitude that's sort of characterized by a lack of gratitude, sort of ungrateful, entitled, negative, thoughtless. That's what we mean by that attitude, right? Well, when you think about those things, if those are three characteristics, if you will, that can define us when we're in survival mode, and those maybe not be the only three, they're the ones that we explored on Sunday. Can you just make yourself feel a different way? If you're constantly comparing and finding yourself feeling very inadequate and never enough, can you just make yourself feel worthy? Like you turn a light switch on? Okay, well, today I'm going to stop feeling like I'm not enough, and I'm just going to feel like I am enough. Can you simply make yourself, if you've been in this very self-centered, selfish space for a while, can you just flip the switch and make yourself feel unselfish and compassionate towards others? Is it that easy? If you've been in this place of your life where you've just been having this attitude, this negative attitude, where everything is wrong and there's just all this bad stuff happening around you, can you just flip the switch all of a sudden and feel grateful, making yourself well up with gratitude? Is it that easy? I imagine that most of you are thinking right now, yeah, no, that isn't just as easy as flipping a light switch on. It's kind of hard, actually. It's like when you love someone Can you just make yourself stop loving them? Can you just change those feelings to make yourself dislike them? Or conversely, if you really don't like someone, is it easy to just wake up the next day and say, you know what? I like that person today. It's not that easy, is it? Feelings stick with us. Feelings are from a place inside us that's not all that easy to change. We can't just magically change how we feel about someone or something or the world around us. Okay, well, great, right? You can't do that. Then what can we do? Well, we can do exactly what that phrase says, exactly what 1 John 3 is saying. You can act your way into a new way of feeling. You can love not in word or speech, but in truth and action, as 1 John 3 says it. Love in truth and action. Love that word action. It points us towards doing something. And you see, sometimes when we can't change how we feel, when we can't change how selfish of a place we may have gotten to, when we can't change our feelings of inadequacy, when we can't find a way to feel grateful because we're just in this negative space, what you can do is start to practice a habit that nudges you towards a new way of feeling. Sunday, I invited you to think not about comparison anymore, but to start practicing inspiration. You can put inspiration into practice. You can start doing things that get away from comparing. Put the comparison out of your mind and start looking at all the opportunities around you. And as you intentionally look for opportunities, you'll find yourself feeling a different way about things. All kinds of other ways that we explored on Sunday that you can put inspiration into practice. Instead of these self-centered habits, you can start practicing being help-centered. And as you go out working with folks and doing something for someone else, as you practice helping others, you'll find yourself feeling a different way. The action moves you towards a new way of feeling. If you're in this negative space where you're not feeling very grateful, but you're just seeing all of the problems around you and you're just really caught up in feeling that you deserve different, you deserve better, and all that kind of thing, well, try practicing gratitude, because practicing it will lead you towards feeling a different way about these things. No, you can't change your feelings magically, but you can change what you do, how you act, how you behave. And in doing that, in changing your actions, you will find yourself being led into feeling a different way, a new way, a positive way, a healthy way. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say we're caught up in some of that ungrateful attitude. We've just found ourselves during this pandemic. We're seeing all the bad around us. We're seeing what other people are doing. We're not happy with us. We're just really stuck in some negative space about the world around us, the people around us. Every time we go into a store, maybe we're irritated by whether we see folks not wearing masks, or whether we see someone wearing masks and we're just frustrated by what. There's people on both sides of that, right? Well, what if instead you took some time every day to do a very simple practice that we've talked about before, a gratitude journal, for example, and you started writing down every morning, every noon, and every evening 3 things that you have in your life to be grateful for. Eventually, reminding yourself of those grateful opportunities in your life starts to help you to feel more grateful about the world around you. But until you change the practice, it's hard to change the feelings, almost impossible to change the feelings. Prayer is one of those practices that helps to change how we feel. It's funny that we often pray to try to change what God is doing, when the truth is prayer changes us more than anyone else. Prayer is a habit, an active habit that begins to change how we feel. When you start to pray for someone, you develop more empathy for the situation that they're going through, and it leads you to want to reach out and help them. Then that leads you to feel better about what you're doing in the world. You can act your way into a new way of feeling so much easier than you can feel your way into a new way of acting. Let us love not in word or speech, but in truth and action. I invite you to take that with you this week as you get started on this new week of work and ministry and mission and all the things that you'll be doing in your life. Start to act through some positive habits in your life. Start to act yourself into some healthy ways of living and feeling and being in the world right now. There's no better time than to start than today. If you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube, thanks for watching. We'd love to hear your comments or thoughts in the comments section if you want to share. We're going to turn now to our conference call line. You can join us at 563-999-1222. We're going to share our prayer concerns and then go into a time of prayer on that conference call line. We do that just for the privacy of those folks who are joining us. So go ahead and join us now. Call in, and we will start our prayer time on the conference line together. If you're tuning out from Facebook or YouTube, thanks for being with us today.